Hello, guys, and welcome to Ohio session. Today, I have a special guest, Cassandra, who is a Fulbright grantee and an ETA in Strakonice, English teaching assistant. So thank you, Cassandra. And my name is Hani, and I am the Education USA advisor at the Fulbright Commission in Prague. And today, we will take you to Ohio, at least virtually.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that introduction. So I went to a small liberal arts college in Ohio, and today I'm going to tell you about it and two other colleges in Ohio, as well as life in Ohio more generally. So Ohio has kind of a mix of cities and rural areas, but cities tend to be kind of few and far between. There's also a lot of rural areas. So if you don't have a car, you probably won't be going all over the place in Ohio. But some of the main cities are Cleveland, which has a massive arts district. It's a really excellent city. I didn't go to school in Cleveland, but I was nearby. And when we went into the city, I always had a good time. And then other major cities include Toledo and Columbus. Ohio also has a lot of natural areas, so outdoor activities. But because things are kind of so few and far between, a lot of people who go to school in Ohio have a fairly campus-centric experience, especially if their college or university isn't in one of these cities. So I had a job on my campus. I went out with my friends on my campus. I did all of my extracurriculars on my campus. And I don't think that that's uncommon for a college student. So I went to Oberlin College, which is a small liberal arts college in Oberlin, Ohio. It was about half an hour outside of Cleveland, a very liberal environment, and it had both a College of Arts and Sciences and a music conservatory. So I was in the College of Arts and Sciences. I had an excellent time there. And there was a lot of music on campus because there were people there to study violin or opera or whatever else it was. So there's a lot of orchestra concerts and singing concerts. There's always music going on. They tend to be fairly separate programs, though some people do both. But if you're applying and you're not a very, very good musician, you will probably be applying to the College of Arts and Sciences. And if you are interested in music, you can still study music, even if you're not in the conservatory.
What did you study? What was your major?
Oh, I studied creative writing and theater, and then I also had a minor in feminist studies. And that's a really good example, actually, of my next point, which is that there are lots of opportunities for interdisciplinary work. So I took classes for one of my majors that counted for the other. I took classes for one of my minors that counted for one of my majors. And there's lots of opportunities to kind of do multiple things that you're interested in and see them weave together. You can take classes across lots of different disciplines and kind of approach things from multiple perspectives. There are 40 different majors in the College of Arts and Sciences, or more than 40 majors, and 9 integrative concentrations. And those, again, are like smaller programs or groups of students that interact with multiple majors and departments. We also have a winter term. I loved the winter term at Oberlin. So you go to school for the fall, you take 4 classes. Right before Christmas, you take all your finals. Then in the spring, you're going to do that again. But in January, you have a whole month to pursue an independent project. So some people do research or an internship. Some people do like a personal growth project like yoga or learning music or some other activity. Some people put on a show or are part of a production. You can basically do anything you want. And so it's an opportunity to do something that's not necessarily related to your major if you like want to try something new or want to pursue something more specific.
Is that for credits as well?
Yeah, so you have to do, excuse me, you have to do 3 of them. So they don't count as like class credits. It's a different kind of credit. But I did one my first year, my second year, my third year. And then because I had already done 3, my fourth year, I had some time off to work on my thesis and relax and meet friends. So I also found that there were a lot of opportunities for hands-on experiences. I was not in STEM, but I think that there are lots of labs that you can work in. I had a lot of hands-on experience in both of my departments. And I think that the Career Development Center does a pretty good job of kind of supporting students on the path that they want to go on. You might have to seek it out. You know, they're not going to come and find you, but it's definitely support there if you want it. And I also found that there was value placed on both the arts and the sciences. I think that some colleges have, you know, their engineering program that they're really proud of, or their pre-med program that they're really proud of, or their creative writing program, right? And I think that Oberlin does a good job of like prioritizing lots of different students and their interests. So all in all, I think it's a really good place to go to school. It also has a ton of student activities. There's a student-run radio station. Lots of students study away. We have an art museum on campus, and the art museum does something called art rental, where for $5 once a semester, you can go and choose a piece of art that you like, that you want to have in your dorm, and you can borrow a piece real professional art and have it in your dorm for the semester. I thought it was so cool. I did it a couple of times. There are 175 plus student organizations. That number has probably changed a little bit before and after COVID. But it's a very active student body. You have the opportunity to eat either in a dining hall, so a normal canteen kind of setting, or in a dining co-op where you and the other people in the co-op get food, get money from the college to purchase food, and then have to do all of the cooking and cleaning yourselves. So there's a couple of options for dining. There's also a couple of options for living. But I'll talk a little bit more. You can live in a co-op, you can live in a dorm. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute.
So you mentioned the dining co-op, but my understanding is, can I also cook in my dorms? Is there a kitchen, or is it just for a living?
So it depends on the dorm. Some dorms, I think all of the dorms have a kitchen. I think there's one dorm that only has one kitchen for the whole building. A lot of dorms will have a kitchen for each floor, but it's definitely a communal space. You can't like grocery shop and store a lot of stuff in the
So this dining co-op is actually a really cool thing to meet people, have dinner together, and it's cheaper than the dining hall because you have to clean up after yourself and you have to cook it, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you have to do a certain number of hours of cooking and cleaning and other community work. So it's definitely a time commitment, but the people who I know who did it really enjoyed it. There's also, among other things, a rock climbing wall, a number of different club sports, pottery and bike co-ops, a lot of different performance groups, a lot of different activist groups, a lot of different student publications. And we also have something called EXCO courses. So you take your normal classes that are taught by professors, but the EXCOs are an opportunity for a student or a community member who has a particular interest or a particular knowledge base to teach like a 1 or 2 credit course. So like it counts for half or a quarter of a normal class on a topic of their choosing. So there are board game EXCOs and frog EXCOs and astronomy EXCOs and and there's a pottery EXCO, there's a rock climbing EXCO, there's a ton of different EXCOs, and they're often a really good way to get involved with a group. A lot of these groups run an EXCO every semester to kind of like educate, but also to get new members for their group. Those are a really great opportunity too. It's a nice thing to do in the evening. They usually meet once a week and are fairly low like workload. Yeah. So I think they're fantastic. I really recommend taking them. And last but not least, we have the Dionysus Disco. We call it the SCO. And it's a club on campus. It's a little music venue and bar. And lots of students go with their friends, drink and dance, especially on Wednesday nights, but throughout the weekend as well.
Just remind us, what is the drinking age in the US? Because it is different, guys.
Drinking age is 21. They will not sell you alcohol in the SCO if you are underage.
Just keep that in mind, please. Even though it's legal and it's okay in the Czech Republic to drink when you are 18, if you are an international student in the US, you have to follow their rules, and that's 21, okay? No exceptions.
And you'll probably get told when you arrive on campus, you'll probably have some kind of drug and alcohol training or bystander training, and you'll learn some more about the specific like policies and procedures for the college. Lots of schools have something called medical amnesty, but you'll learn about it when you get there.
Okay.
So for international students, Oberlin College meets all of the demonstrated needs, but that can be across grants, scholarships, loans, on-campus employment. So it might not all just be covered. You might have to do some work for it. But it averages about 2/3 of the costs from what I could find on their website. It does have a fairly competitive acceptance rate. Depending on the year, 8 to 15% of international students will be accepted. But there are some other merit-based scholarships if the financial aid provided is not enough. So a couple different things to look into there. For all students, not just international students, there is something called the first year seminar and Pell program. So your first semester, you will be in a class with about 12 or 15 other people. And these are usually on pretty niche topics, right? The professor is interested in some kind of corner of research and wants to teach a seminar on it. It's sometimes the first opportunity that a first year has to take a seminar level class or a seminar style class. So it's a small writing intensive course. And it could be on piracy in a particular region and era, or a particular niche of literature, or a particular, like there's all sorts of different first year seminars that you can take, but all interesting niche topics. There was one about the history of rock music a couple years ago, I think.
And the word niche means unique? Niche? Okay.
Unique or like particular. Like a niche is like a corner or a particular spot for something.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning new vocabulary, so that's good.
That's NICHE, if anyone wants to put that and translate.
Well, because there's this beautiful website called niche.com where there are facts and information about US higher education institutions. And there's also like a ranking, and students share their opinions on the institution. So that's why I'm asking what a niche means, because there is a website, niche.com, where I refer students for information about a particular school. So
yeah, so I would say it's like the particular spot or corner that something belongs. So it sounds like niche.com is like find your niche, find the right school for you, the
best fit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. With the group that you are in that seminar in, you will also have a PAL. A PAL is a second or third, maybe a fourth year student who has been assigned to that group of 12 or 15 first years. And you'll have, I think, 6. They'll be with you during orientation, and then you'll have, I think, 6, if it's the same as when I was there, like meetings with them throughout the semester. And you'll cover like how to register for classes, how to take advantage of your dining hall plan, other kind of college, how to sign up for office hours, when to go see a professor about your grades, like basic college how-to stuff. And I think it would be really helpful, especially if you didn't come up in the American education system. There's also housing available on campus for all 4 years. Some people in the 4th year are able to request to live off campus or choose to live off campus. But most people start out in a dorm. There are some first-year dorms. There are some all-year dorms. And then by your 3rd or usually your 4th year, you can apply for village housing. And that's an opportunity to live in a house or in an apartment, but it's still owned by the college. So if something goes wrong, you're still calling campus facilities, but you kind of get a more adult living experience, and it's supposed to help transition you to the real world. So I lived in a first-year dorm, and then in a normal dorm, and then I lived my last whole year, my last 3 semesters in a house with my best friends, and it was fantastic. And if you are looking for something a little more niche, to use our favorite word, there are also identity-based houses, identity-based housing communities, and then a lot of identity-based organizations. So if you're looking for a particular group, you'll probably find it there. There's a link at the bottom for more info if you want it. There are a couple of other really great schools in Ohio. Case Western is one of them. I don't know as much about these 2 schools since I didn't go there. I'm going to tell you what I know. Case is a small private university. Unlike Oberlin, they have grad students as well as undergrads, but there are about 5,000, 6,000 undergrads. This is a school in Cleveland, Ohio. So it's a city campus. Known for its world-class research. It has excellent pre-professional tracks. So that's pre-med, pre-law, education, engineering. More than 100 majors, more than 200 student organizations. And then this link has, a ton of information about campus life. So if you're interested in what those organizations are, I can't speak to them personally, but you'll find them all there. For international students, need-based aid seems to be available for your 1st year only, but other scholarships may be available depending on your academic achievement, your involvement in school and the community, what activities you do, demonstrating that you're a leader. And from what it said on their website, it seems like that might be able to cover like a full tuition scholarship, but it's not need-based aid after your 1st year. So it's a little bit more case-to-case. It does say, though, that about a quarter of their undergrad students are international students. So they are accepting a lot of you guys. And they also have a number of clubs and identity-based communities that you can join.
Nice.
Ohio State, we're going from smallest to biggest here, is a large state university. So again, grad students and undergrads, but they have about 47,000 undergraduate students. It's also in a city in Columbus, which is a little bit smaller than Cleveland, but they are known for their academic medical center and cancer research center. They are rated as an excellent public education institution and rated among the colleges with the happiest freshmen. So if you want to be one of the happiest freshmen, Ohio State might be the place for you. Though I will say, you will
among
be
the 47,000. Yeah.
Pardon?
Among the 47,000 students.
Among the 47,000, you will be the happiest freshman at the college that is the right fit for you. So don't be fooled by this. It's an interesting statistic, I think. They have, again, we're going smallest to biggest, 200 majors with 500 different specializations, 1,400 student organizations. And then they also have 1st and 2nd year programs to ensure smooth transitions and continuing support. So similar to the 1st year seminar program, again, I don't really know the details of these programs, but it seems like for all students, not just international students, they have a lot of support in place to walk you through your first couple of years. For international students, some merit-based scholarships may be available. Additional scholarships might be available from other sources. And then it seems to me like there's a lot of support available for students, but that there's not a lot of specific international student financial aid out there. It's a big state school. It has a fair amount of money, but you'll definitely have to do some more research depending, on your situation. So those are a couple of the schools in Ohio, what life is like in Ohio. Do you have any other questions that you want me to answer?
No, I think this is perfectly fine. I really liked it. Thank you so much for introducing, especially Oberlin College sounds real fun. And I know you have the most experience with that, but the programs they offer and the extracurriculars, where they can all, or students can participate, it sounded amazing. So guys, if you do have any more questions for Kaz, please send them to me to advisor@Fulbright or type them underneath this live stream. Kaz is a creative writing person, so she is actually helping me with essays and she's helping Czech students with essays. So if you need a proofreader or if you need just a motivation or just a different point of view, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to connect you with Cassandra, who is spending this 2022-2023 in Strakonice. So take advantage of having her here. And if you like any of these schools mentioned, please let me know. With Oberlin, I'm sure Cassandra can answer many more questions or maybe connect you to someone in a specific department or, major. So awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Cass, for presenting. It was an amazing trip.